Well, afternoon, guys. It's about 4:05 in the afternoon for a gloomy day on Sunday, February 4th, 2024. Off and on rainstorm coming in and driving people crazy. What else is new? Yeah, I tried to stay away from the politics for today. And when I do, go to YouTube and Amazon Prime looking for something a lot more screwed up and a lot more uglier than any other ultra right wing nut job could deal with. Absolute complete bloodshed of watching the Mortal Kombat series. Back in '92 when this came out in the arcades, a lot of kids played the damn game. And it came to the home platforms, and because of the ultra violence of the damn thing, it was just so oh ultra out there. Even the rest of the video games prior to that were making their hit squads with the conservative political parties of Congress that they wanted these games off the market, period. They were going to control, period. They weren't going to say anything else about it. But here's the thing about them. That's market. They couldn't control it. They tried to legislate it, but they couldn't get the accurate votes on this one here. But they bitched and griped about it, put the CEOs grilling them up because they wanted their audience to know that they were trying to take control of things, but they really weren't. But the market understood that the games were ultraviolet, so they had to put their own labels on them. Certain age groups can play these kind of games. Conservatives kept noticing that there was a amount of crime rising left and right. Games like Grand Theft Auto, you can get away with anything and everything in there. Not just the blaze shoot 'em ups, first person shooters that when you played them on home platform, home platforms that there are certain games out there, even demos, were pretty bloody, pretty grotesque, and breaking rules left and right, shall we say, of decency. They try to control it these days, but not so much. You put them out there in the movies, and you put them out there in cut scenes. You put them out there in the platform still, and oh yeah, even the theatrics. And you put them out there in the big screen. And I thought the movie Aliens back in what was it, late '80s, was pretty grotesque. And it was. But I'm going to tell you what's more grotesque than seeing a violent, bloody game where you get to rip somebody's head off from their spine, hold it up in the air, and say, Fatality! And somebody screams out, Mortal Kombat! Oh, reason why I switched to a long time ago first person shooter games that would actually be bloodless. There's the Star Wars Battlefront, Battlefront 2. At least those guys would fade off the ground. There'd be no bloodshed, and you can still blow things up. However, if you really feel that kind of aggressive tendencies going on, I mean, it's a good way of getting rid of some of them. Actually, maybe building up some more. But how about if we, of the brainwashed people out here, who are so mentally out of it that we are going to convince you that you will join our religious holy crusade against everybody else, and if you don't, you'll be sorry. Now you're going to be asking me, did I happen to join anybody else for that matter? No. Did I happen to swear anything? No. So what makes me say this thing? Because if you are not a white national Christian or a white Christian nationalist, you may or may not be participating in our group over here, and there may be dire consequences down the road. It's like watching something from Stargate SG-1 regarding the Goa'ulds try to convince people that you will worship them or else you'll be dead. What kind of vampires and hooligans do we know about those? Certainly something in our history. Did I actually mention an H word? H word being history. It's an ugly word, isn't it? It's very disgusting in the English dictionary or any other place because it deals with recollections, memories, events, recorded, verified, slapped in there by print, by vocalizations, by video, by something. Even reading ancient texts and Sanscripts and carvings on stones and other things. That we're learning something more and more about our our, our ugly past. And somewhere in there's a G word in there I could use. Not gracious, that's for sure. Not greatly. Not great. Grating, I should say. There was another G word in there somewhere, or maybe starts with an A and G somewhere in there. I'll find it one of these 3 days. Okay, so how about the term history? Well, let's see. And we will open up the Holy Bible, which I don't have in front of me here. Old Testament is supposed to be complete and replete of events happening with theoretically important people, and they're saying and doing things, and all in the name of God. And then there's the New Testament, trying to describe how human behavior might be modified and changed so we don't have to be complete royal assholes. There's supposed to be this important person in here about the New Testament, talked about throughout. Doesn't start with a G either. I think it starts with a J and a C, but I'm not quite sure. I'll have to research that one. But this particular important person, meek, mild, born in a manger, a grotesque, smelly, dirty, rotten manger that would be considered in today's classification of human being completely homeless and completely hopeless, with 2 unwed people. And they're Jewish by faith, by birth. So this particular important person, born in a manger, next to animals who had been visited by other shepherds, but not to mention 3 wise kings or wise men, however the interpretation was in the New Testament there. To see this who is this? This is what we came across the desert for. Ew. I suppose you're the poor peasants. You're the mother. Oh, my condolences. He does look rather scrawny for a scrawny kid. I can't believe my 2 other companions drew me towards this area over here because we're following some thing in the sky. I don't know. They were just following this thing. They thought it was moving. We followed it. And then we come into Bethlehem to see this. What is this thing here? Oh, it's a baby. We came hundreds of miles on camelback, spending God knows how many days and nights just to see a baby? Ugh. Well, my milk is going to go spoiling if I'm not going to be dumping it here. I might as well leave it to these people. And what you giving them? You're giving them frankincense. What are you doing? You putting in gold for these people? A bit of silver? Oh, good Lord, what are you doing? You're the one led us over here in the first place. Now, I gotta be generous by getting rid of my myrrh because it's gonna be spoiling at this point because of all the high desert heat and everything else going on. Alright, fine. Had your fun. Shall we get home? I got a kingdom to run and people to torture. Later. Of course, people are going to be freaking out because if they actually hear this kind of conversation, they'll be wondering, is he not a Christian? I think maybe if the baby had mutated into a human being and was in this time zone here, and probably heard this thing, he'd probably be chuckling up a storm at this point. He probably would. At least I would hope he had a better humor than everybody else these days who are just trying to be the most obnoxious, inhumane beings on the face of the earth. That's the thing I keep thinking about. That's what I keep dealing with. So now we got to deal with this stuff, don't we? We're going to be following a man who's been reported in this book, this Holy Bible, the New Testament, concerning about all the things that he wants people to be moral and just about. Quite frankly, I don't know if human beings are actually able to do such a thing or so. I mean, just really, I just want to be a little bit of a smirk about this one here. Yeah, that's my smirk right there. Anyway, this addled brain person who thinks he was and keeps quoting himself to be the son of God. I mean, who is this person anyway? He treats everybody like a decent human being. How dare he? And yet he would have the gall and the gumption to say that he's just but a man, but he's also the son of God, and he wants people to be nice to each other. Wants them to love each other as they love themselves, the greatest commandment of all. And not to mention the Lord Almighty. If there is such a thing as a Lord Almighty out there in the first place. I mean, apparently these people call themselves human beings. They think they're so righteous and uppity at this point over here, they're willing to kill themselves for regarding religion. So imagine we have this right Christian nationalist crap going on, and they're going to condemn people. I swear they got the American Sharia law in fact here. Which means, rather nice for us non-compliant folks out there who don't believe a damn thing about it. It's all crapping, you see. I mean, what the hell, why? What the hell do I care about the next person down the road? If they need transportation or not, I don't have transportation for them in the first place. If he's crying over there, all I just gotta do is just sneer at the bastard. That's about it. What are you crying about? Good Lord, get on with your life. Poor pathetic bastard. There's a dog limping in the... Hell, let's put the dog out of its misery, shall we? I just have no time for these people. Me being a white nationalist Christian. We have no time for people at this point over here. We must rule these people. Why? Because we say so. I mean, how dare you be something you're not? Ugh, I can't stand these people. Try to be all nice and lovey-dovey and try to love each other. Meanwhile, take a dagger and start stabbing each other in the back. Just walking Shakespeareans, are you? That's all you are. And for that, I've got nothing else to say to this worthless piece of people. They might as well just nuke themselves out of existence. The universe will be bloody well off. Humbug. I say humbug. Humbug, I tell you. Humbug. Granted, I am not going to be continuing that particular character or personage. Not for a long ass while on this one here. I'm having more and more upset stomachs and acid reflux from regarding people talking about how Christian they are and that backstab people. I mean, you don't have to do it with a dagger, except you do it with attitudes, words, and actions. I can make a characterization about the damn thing. But here's what I have to make amends for. I know God has a sense of humor. I know Jesus has got a sense of humor, but sometimes I can't stand my own sense of humor. Especially when I'm doing something over here that makes me feel ill to my stomach. Dealing with people who claim that they are Christians, but they're not Christians. They wouldn't know one thing about being a Christian in the first place. Despite the fact they keep reading the book over and over again, they just don't get it. They don't have it. They're like a lot of walking Sauls out there that needs to be turned into Pauls. That's what we all need at this point. We all need an absolute spiritual awakening at this point. We need to get our asses kicked. We need to get the reality check going on. You don't know how to be Christian unless you start walking the damn path. And if you are of a different religion, if you are of a different follower of something, you have to be true to oneself. You have to be true to it. But if you are going to be true to the point where you think that your religion is going to be the most absolute thing and everyone else has to follow it, you got another thing coming, pal. We're supposed to be pluralistic in this particular country of ours called the United States of America. But apparently we have all lost it a long time ago, and we still have lost it. We don't know what the hell we're doing anymore. We may have got the quote-unquote freedom of it concerning about the First Amendment rights, but nobody else is following their damn shit because they don't know how to. They'll read about it, but they don't learn it. They don't ask questions. They don't want to ask questions. They want things to be given to them. Oh yeah, they don't want to earn the right. They don't want to earn a period. They wouldn't care to earn it. They just want it right now. Oh, but I'm a Christian nationalist. Don't you understand? I follow Christ. Get away from me, you bum. Then stop getting your hand out there. I'll break it for you. How much you got in your pocket? I think I'll rob you blind. That kind of attitude at this point over here. And they're going to tell me that their religion is going to be the absolute because they say so. And the only thing I can do is probably flip a bird and tell them to go to hell. You first. I've been through it before, thank you very much. Not a very nice place to go through, especially when you're dealing with it on Earth. And seeing how you're going to be opening up another gateway to hell, forcing your shit down people's throats just because you say so, your ego really must be that great, doesn't it? I mean, you can't follow God, you can't follow Jesus, you can't follow anything else but your own damn head or somebody else's. I have got nothing against. Do I got anything against Christianity? I raised under Christianity, raised as a Methodist. I had to have my faith and my spirituality challenged constantly. And why not? I need it. I needed to be constantly challenged. I needed to be questioned. I needed to be questioning it. Somewhere there was a story in the Bible, if I remember it. I'm not quite sure about the new one or the old one. Something about doubting Thomas. And at times I have questioned my faith. I have to question. I have to question. It's not asking proof of God's existence, it's asking something else entirely. If God created me on this earth, what the hell was I supposed to do in the first place, and am I supposed to be doing it? Because He kept saving my ass so many damn times, I'm not quite sure if I'm doing it. I don't even know what it is. And if I had a clue what the hell it was, am I going to be able to do it? Or should I be doing it? Or would I be doing it? Do I need to be doing this? Would I be a selfish, self-righteous, egotistical megalomaniac at this point over here telling God to go fuck himself? I mean, you just don't do that to the Almighty. You just don't do that to Grace. You don't do that. You don't do that to God. Because that's like saying the Bible doesn't work, the U.S. Constitution doesn't work, your own damn ego works because somebody else wants you to be that way. No, thank you. I don't get it. Why do I need to be this way? Why do I have to be this way? Why do I have to follow somebody else over here because they say so? Because they're right and I'm wrong? Because they don't know anything and I do? Well, what the hell do I know? I know what I've been taught. I know what feels good inside my heart. But I also know what's conflicted left and right. And if I really got a problem against God and Christ at this point over here, because I know there's something wrong with me. It's not me putting the blame on them. I'm not interpreting something correctly at this point. Or maybe I hadn't done something right or in the correct style or something. And I have to get right with God on this one. If I have to pray, I have to pray, I have to pray, I have to pray. I have to keep asking. But I also have to keep putting faith and trust into it. My brother always kept haranguing me on this one. Where's my faith in God? And some of the time I kept saying Cleveland. Or he took the last train to Clarksville. Took the last boat out. Something of that kind of a nature. And I know I'll probably get God's frown on this one sometimes. Because I'm not getting it. The answer's in front of me, but I'm blind as hell to it. I mean, how many times I would try to go through a Bible and try to pick out the things that are necessary in her. Sometimes I have to be reminded in different forms of factions or different instances that there's something telling me, little pieces that I have to keep putting together to say, now I get it. Maybe I'm getting the right thing on here. What's uncomfortable for me is I have to be the position from one Christian to a so-called Christian, putting them on the spot and saying, why are you doing this against God and Jesus? What did they ever do to you? And if you're saying you're following them, you're not following them. You hadn't read not just the commandments, but the ultimate commandments where Christ was talking to people on the Sermon of the Mount. Now, I am not going after Jewish, even though there's history against them, one form or another. And I hold no malice or anything towards them. I know there's a hell of a lot of crap happening in Israel right now as it is. And I can't make heads or tails out of it, despite I'm getting both sides of the story. Maybe both are sending con jobs left to us, or maybe something's right and something's not right. But going out there trying to kidnap, rape, kill, pillage, burn things down, and then expect no retaliations, or expecting the world to be retaliated, and then they claim something else. People are screaming and yelling for the hostages to be released, negotiations to happen, and other people have to go through hell while the process gets worked on. More innocent lives. We got countries being invaded by lunatics at this point over here who want their empire back. But we have to go crazy in our country, the United States of America, And we have to go religious at this point, as saying only Christianity rules and nobody else. I suppose Protestants and Catholics don't count because they're not Christian, right? Which means we would go against the Catholic Church. We would go against anything and everything regarding Catholicism, even though they were a form of Christianity. Of course, we go after Lutherans and Methodists and Baptists. Or are we going to have a secular war amongst the religious aspects of that one too? Of course, they'll look at Islam and think, okay, that's an automatic right there. We go against them because they're not of the Christ. No, they're of their own faith and understanding. And maybe they are still part of the ancestry talked about in the Old Testament, but also in the Quran. And other aspects are being mutated and misinterpreted, both in the Holy Bible and in the Quran. We're using aspects of it to justify violence and murder. I'm still waiting for that shit to happen in here in America. Not going against Islam. I'm talking about Christian going against Christian. That's what's going to scare me more. They're going to say it in the name of religion. And you know what we got here? As I said before, that H word, history, history, history. We got ourselves a holy crusade. We got a crusade against each other. We're doing Mortal Kombat. We're going to be pitting citizen versus citizen, religion versus religion, values, ideas, ideologies, theologies. We're going to have ourselves a Mortal Kombat. We're going to have ourselves a bloody crusade among each other. Because we won't accept anything else but total, complete victory, fatality, finality. How does that grab you? You'll be waking up one morning and now we got other religious leaders saying, we must destroy. It doesn't matter who the target is. We are the must destroy and we must obey. Say hello to Sharia law. Constitution be damned. Because the so-called pastors out there who claim that they are the voice of God want the U.S. Constitution destroyed and everything concerning about freedom and liberty and justice gone. Because now they think they've got their God. I'm hearing the skull thumpers out there, chest beaters, marching up and down, sending the shit out on social media left and right, while other people who are very concerned about this crap sending us the information, telling us what's going on, while we're seeing conversion after conversion happening. So does this mean in my little community of Roseman, I'm going to be expecting the townsfolk to lose their minds absolutely because of theological, because of political, and because of their own mental hang-ups? That we're going to see genocide? We're going to see genocide here? We're going to see Mortal Kombat in real life? It's like follow me or die. That's a horrible thing to think about and talk about. But this is what we've got. So basically, for those who think that they're sane, you're going to be the outcasts. You're going to be the lunatics. You're going to be the fringe element because it seems like people are trying to get into the majority of a Mortal Kombat crusade mentality where if you're from a different religion, different sect, different belief, you are considered outworld or the nether realm or somewhere else. That's going to get thrashed. Screw the championship. We're going to have a holy, bloody crusade against our neighbors. All because we have to feed the beast, and the beast is supposed to be Christ. Their version of it. Their version of God. Who never did say in the Bible that it's okay to rape, kill, pillage, and burn. It's okay to hate your neighbor and cheat a friend. To borrow a musical line here. It's okay to go do these things because we're doing it in the name of God, and God rules it. So everything that we thought was decent, just, true, something we held deep in our heart, I guess that's all a lie because now we got to follow these idiots on this bloody holy crusade of trying to convert people into different religions. We might as well be the frickin' Borg. We might as well be the frickin' Borg, turning people into drones left and right. Let them lose their humanity, get it taken away. Now we're all mechanizations of this one huge complex of crap. Crap thinking. First Amendment gone bye-bye. So is the Constitution. Everything else about freedom and liberty. Autocratic society, screw that. We get into a big-ass collective over here. Screw the authoritative. They'll be part of the damn chain. Maybe we'll be turning worse than North Korea. Because apparently Russia's having their own issues. And so is a few other countries, but they still like their authoritative regimes. Anyway. I hope you guys have plenty of Maalox. And maybe you've got an image that you'd rather not see at this point in your head. I can't help you with that one. You're stuck with it. Like we're stuck with everything else out. If nothing changes, nothing changes, and we're going downhill fast. Welcome to hell, boys and girls. And everybody else.